Okay, I need to go a little bit further back.
Is this good? This is good.
So we'll get started in about 5 or 10 minutes, give some more time for people to come. There's coffee there, there's some drinks, there's some stuff to eat, so if you want to use this time to get any of those things. Sure.
I actually had to say this one last time. That's not for us, because they said we're taking this for our people, we're sipping the water. I love the weather. So what is your first city? I'm very good question. Oh, no. Other. To this point, I have paid businesses for other cases. I think I went to their protect but very good devices. Oh, nice. My expertise in vascular systems, It's always take one person but again, it just becomes the social environment so I think this wouldn't have that's what hold it. There are a lot of then they get the impetus to start. I'm an example. I'm also that's why people are see that take our time. You said all
بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Abdurrauf. I'm actually part of this community, a volunteer for the club. And we have this monthly entrepreneur meetup that we hold on a monthly basis. Event number 3. So the featured speaker for this week, this month, is Dr. Karim, and he will be giving us some insights into his proposed organization called GAIN. So I call on Dr. Karim Khan to take the lead.
Assalamu alaikum. So research shows that it takes the human mind 7 passes to take a note of something new that we have never seen before. For instance, if we're just driving across the street or browsing through the internet, a lot of new names, terms, and companies, it just come across, but our mind doesn't register it. And all of a sudden we see something familiar, a brand name, a name or a term, and the eyes take a glimpse of it, and the mind registers it, and we remember it for a while. So similarly, there is a known term, is incubator. So we thought we'll go with incubator, even though the goal and mission of this project is far bigger and deeper than the incubator. But for the sake of this meeting and for the sake of marketing, we just went with the incubator. As you can see, the golden age of Islam now, or GAIN, what that has to do with the incubator. My journey, or the mission to start this project started with a bitter truth. And we are familiar with, whenever we talk about science and development and so on and so forth, the contribution of Muslim historically to science and development is significant. And we all know that, and sometimes we, when we're talking to other people, we feel proud. But sad to say that we should not be proud, we should be embarrassed and possibly ashamed, as when we are elaborating on that, we were there, we came from there, we were so advanced in science and technology and scholastic work and so on and so forth. We should not be very proud of today's Muslim, and I'll explain as to why. For me, this started with a bitter awakening, and that awakening was basically right after 9/11. There is a good body of scientists in this country, in the scientific community, that they always give credit to Islam for the scientific development and so on and so forth. Namely, in 80s and 90s, there was one of the leading astrophysicists in NASA. His name was Carl Sagan. He would always, whenever there was a need, he would always give Islam the credit for the scientific contribution. He once said that if it was not for Muslim or Islam, human being probably would have not been this advanced where we are right now. He had a follower, his name is Neil deGrasse Tyson. He is currently, I'm sure many of you probably familiar with him. He's currently one of the leading astrophysicists at NASA. Right after 9/11, Bush made a statement in the aftermath of 9/11. Neil Tyson was talking elsewhere after that, and he critiqued Bush's statement, and in fact, he contributed, dedicated that whole talk to that statement. And so I thought that I'll summarize his video, what he said, in my own word, put it in front of you, and then we'll take it from there. But I realized that I might not do a good job or justice with that video, so I edited that video, and I thought we'll just play it together, see it, and then we'll take it from there. Do we have a speaker?
the audio on the TV stream.
Play on the computer too?
Yeah, I'll have it. Set up. Where's the speaker? That is up. This is. I think it's all of this function after. Yes.
When we fix it.
No, I can play it, but the speaker, where is the speaker? That's right.
One second. Video's better. Yeah, it might be if it was killed. But maybe if it was summarize the video. Summarize the video. That's fine. Separate from the TV.
So why don't you just play the video? The video one, you don't get to see it, right?
I tried to do that, I tried to do it, but once you do that, you just press play, and then press that button. Yeah. Is that this? No, no, no. Yeah, the one with the action.
Yeah, that's true. You cannot hear it, right? So sadly, the video is not working. I have to kind of butcher that video and explain it so to deliver that message. what he did was he basically said that Bush was trying to quote a phrase from the Bible that we are the one who named the stars. So he went ahead and corrected, and he said that all the stars that which has names, 1/3 of those names are Arabic. And so he went on to say that how did that happen? He said that it was Muslims who gave these names to stars. And he went on to a greater detail talking about the plethora of knowledge being the center of the entire world. Knowledge was Baghdad and Alexandria, Egypt, and so on. And the scientific discoveries came from that time and their involvement in the scholastic work. And so he dedicated pretty much his whole talk to the Muslim contribution in science, in technology, development, and so on and so forth, in math and so on. Then he went on that where the Muslim dropped the ball and nobody picked it. He put all the blame on Imam al-Ghazali. So he said a time came of this scholar, he brings up the Imam al-Ghazali's picture, and he said that when this scholar came in, he mentioned to Muslims that numbers is the work of devil, nothing can come good out of this, and therefore we should start dealing with numbers in mathematics and so on. To me, as a Muslim, when I hear that such a great scholar in Islam, like Imam al-Ghazali, would say or give a fatwa on something of this crucial, where Muslims were at the peak, at the epic of scientific discoveries in numbers, mathematics, discovering numbers like zeros and pi and algorithm and so on and so forth. Why a Muslim scholar would give such a fatwa to abstain Muslim from doing such work? And that really hit me hard. So what I did, I started searching for a scholar, a Muslim scholar who should also be a scientist, so they can explain to me as to what was the problem there. Eventually, I located somebody at CDC. I reached out to them, and he agreed to meet with me. He met with me, we sat down, and I asked him this question. And he said that Neil Tyson is half right and half not. So I said, where he is not correct. He said that this is very true, that at the time of Imam al-Ghazali, the Muslims were at the peak of the scientific discoveries and knowledge and scholastic work. But there was something else going on at the time which was also very prominent, and that was palmistry, numerology, where people read their palms in telling the future. So he told Muslims to abstain from telling future, which is haram. And therefore, he said that we should not do that. And as his message was getting spread through the periphery of the Muslim nations, it converted to as that Imam is telling us not to deal with numbers. And people took it as that, okay, it's haram to deal with numbers, therefore people stopped sending their children to schools, and the ripple effect of slowly start happening, and Muslims dropped the ball. Thereafter, nobody even thought of picking that ball up to start the process again. To this day, we have been crippled and we never look back. That, when I said that we should be shameful and embarrassed when we talk about such a great work of Muslims in the past, and to this day, we never have recovered. So, Neil Tyson said that if that work continued, he said that I can bet you, he bet on it, and he said that every single Nobel Peace Prize would have been won by Muslim by now. Every single, he said. We are pretty much at zero in winning a Nobel Peace Prize in the scientific and scholastic work. That is the sad truth and a bitter truth that we're facing. So, after meeting the scholar and what he told me, what I've learned from him, I took this upon myself and I said that I will start something which, even though I know that I might play a very, very minute role, I might not just be visible, but what I'll do is I'll start making noise. And even if in my entire life I just wake one Muslim up with my noise, that's worth it. So I have been making noise for the past 2 years. Thus far, I have not waken up a single Muslim. Perhaps I was in the wrong crowd. Perhaps I was making the noise in the wrong places. But today I'm in front of you, and I'm hoping that today this message get resonated. We possibly can start something to make something happen. That might be a very baby step that we can. Unless we take a step, we could not get anywhere. If we want to get somewhere, we have to take that first step. So what is the point now? Why is this brochure say the time is now? Why the time is now? Why we want to reclaim that last time that we wanted to get there? Why there's an urgency now? The reason being is that the rhetoric about Islamophobia is no longer a taboo. People don't feel hesitancy to say anything it comes to mind against Islam, against Muslims. It's no longer an issue. It's no longer an embarrassment. It's just okay. It's a normalized. So a Zionist group from Israel and a Zionist group from India, RSS, it happens so that they're coming together tomorrow to have a virtual meeting. And in that meeting, their topic is what Zionists and RSS can learn from each other. We know what they're talking about, but if we look at both of these organizations, they're fairly new. We'll take the example of RSS. Started in 1950s, and it was started basically by 3 people. But their clever start was such that they want to start their mission from the schooling system, from the education system. Once you educate children from that early on, you ingraining an idea, a belief system. Once that belief system ingrained in mind, in adult life, it's impossible to change that belief system. And therefore, then professionals are willing to give their life, their time, and their money, and that's exactly what they did. So what happened to us? What happened to Muslims? We have lack of leadership, we have scarcity of financial strength, even though individually there are a lot of rich Muslims, but together there's lack of that. What that lead to is a drop or morality. And when the ummah morale is low, then we accept the blame. We succumb to this notion that, okay, we are at fault, it's our fault, we are at blame, we are the bad one. That's okay if they're just, mocking us, that's fine, that's normal. And we are at that time right now that we had become this nation. 2.5 billion people today have no voice. 2.5 billion people today have no strength. And that's sad news, but that is the truth. So, what we wanted to achieve here, why we're here today, what is the mission, what is the goal of this presentation, of this talk here. What I wanted to convey, and with the hope of today's talk, we wanted to start something. So the goal is that this platform that we call GAN, Golden Age of Islam Now, or GAN, it's a platform which provides entrepreneurs, business enthusiasts, like-minded people a platform to come together and start whatever idea that they wanted to start. The platform will help them start and walk them with their hand holding step by step so they can start their business, they can start their idea from scratch to finish, and the platform will be with them at all times. So a platform provides tools and resources for those who have the drive, who have the ideas, who are the willingness to start something and get somewhere. Now, the vision is big. So the ultimate vision is that the platform is a Muslim community. We want to be heavily involved in a political system in this country. In order for us to do something, we must be involved in a political system. Today we feel the crunch and we feel the crush of that lack of political involvement. And we all know and we are aware of that, right? So there are two things that the platform envision in a long run. So one is the political involvement, the second is our education system. We want to create education system so we can reclaim that golden age of Islam which we have lost. So we can go back there and we say that, okay, we're the one, where we came from, we made a full circle and we're here now. So we can basically create that environment for our next generation to come. The short-term vision is that the platform will provide the resources and the tools to those who wanted to start something, whether it's a business, brick and mortar, or whether it's a startup or a technology company. The platform will be providing all the resources and the tools that they need and walk them step by step. The platform will become 25% partner with the teams that they come and wanted to participate. So we call them GAN fellows. Somebody come and they say, I'm a person, I have an idea, I want to pursue this idea to become a business owner or a startup owner. Now, he will then bring in 2 more or 3 more, most probably 2 more co-founders, and these co-founders will form a team. We call that a cohort. All these 3 members become the fellows of the GAN. The GAN will basically help them, walk them, and so they can start, provide them with seed money, provide them with the tools and the resources, and so on and so forth. And basically, so that's the short-term vision that the GAN will have. Now, the GAN community, what is the GAN community? So the GAN community, and that's what we want to do today, we would need your participation today, and I'll explain this in a bit. But the GAN community look like this. We have a director. We have 2 phases of mentors. So phase 1 mentors, these are non-business mentors. These are intellectuals, these are enthusiasts. These are the people that wanted to give back to the community. They wanted to help our youngsters. They wanted to help our next generation of leaders. So they will come. We will need around 5 to 10 brothers and sisters that want to come together. And so the people with the idea, they come. The non-business mentor will prep their idea and get them ready for pitching. So they are ready. They know that, okay, our idea is viable. Now we can pitch it in front of the next phase of mentors. The next phase mentors are mentors who already have business, who already have business experience. These are businessmen. These are experts. These are seasoned businessmen. So another 5 to 10 brothers and sisters. The team, the cohort, graduate from the first phase to the second phase. In the second phase, mentors will basically, when they hear their pitch, they'll take their idea from the idea to proof of concept, to prototype, to eventually a viable business. And that's how this process is gonna keep going, graduating more and more fellows from the GAN.
Sorry for the interruption. The request, this is the time for Adhan.
Okay,
So
sure.
we can do that, and then after that we'll continue.
Definitely.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Okay, so once a team, a cohort come to the platform, again, they will be asked to commit 3 to 6 months, depending on their project, 3 to 6 months of their time to work on their idea, on their business proposal, so they can have a successful, viable business. And through the process, each and every single member in the group will learn all the aspects of their ideas and their business, the ins and the out from these experts. And once they launch their business, they will be a successful leader in their community and in the business. So the goal is to launch the platform in the spring of 2024 after Ramadan, inshallah. One thing that I must mention here that we became so good at, that we get on podiums, we give emotional speeches, we talk, and then everybody go home, and then we forget about the thing, and then there was just lots. So that's what had been happening to me for the past 2 years. So today we want to do something a little differently, inshallah. Brother Daniel has these flyers, which has the QR code on it. If you can kindly scan it, it will lead you to a form. You fill that form come to us, and then we will have a meeting, inshallah, at whichever level you think that you can participate in this. Your time is greatly appreciated. We have to keep in mind one thing. We're not doing this for ourselves, we're doing this for the entire ummah, and this is sadaqah jariyah, inshallah. So Allah will give you a reward for this. So please participate at whichever level you can. Your time is very, very important to us, and it will be appreciated, and Allah will give you a reward for this. What we need is, we need leaders to join us, we need the support of the community, and we need to form a committee for this GAN, for the platform, so then we can have a proper start, inshallah. I am requesting and hoping that this committee will be led by Dr. Saad, inshallah. So if he will take the responsibility of this, inshallah, then next time when we have a good number of brothers and sisters, next time we can call you in for a meeting. We will have a meeting, and then inshallah we'll start from there, and then we'll decide upon the structure. I did have write a detailed proposal mentioning the coursework and all the nitty-gritty, about 25-page long documents that I have. Inshallah, I'll share that with you as well, and then we can have a proper start. Unless we take that first step, we cannot get there where we want to get. Where we came from, we know it. How to get there, we need to take the first step. We'll make mistakes, but we'll learn from the mistakes and we'll make it happen. I mentioned 2 organizations. These organizations started from 2 to 3 people. Today, they are the biggest forces in the world, and in India, those who are familiar with, we see their feeling, their pressure and their power. So they said, this is the last slide, I believe, and I will greatly appreciate if you can participate in this. Take these cards with you. If you think that you know someone else that possibly be interested in this, please ask them to do so as well. If you are not comfortable putting your information online, we also have a form there. Please write your name and your phone number, and we'll reach out to you as well. If you have any questions, please do ask.
Now the form is the title said Karim. I'm not sure what that
That means name.
Name?
Yeah, first name.
Name, and then there's a number, that means you put the phone.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's been a while and I have not updated it, so there might be some, if there's a glitch, then please let me know. We can also do manual there. We can just write your name and phone number there. If that's easier, that's also fine.
So Dr. Karim,
Yes, sir.
you might want to also hold up your mic so then that way everybody else can hear. And one of the questions is that, can you describe when you have the 3 to 6 months, let's say you have a entrepreneur who wants to join, for example, that 25%, did the entrepreneurs have the right to buy that back? Or what is that 25% getting you, A, and B, what support are you providing to the entrepreneurs in order for them to actually, be a part of this community?
Right, it's a very good question. So the 25% share that they gain asking for from these groups is that one, the platform providing them with tools such as the expertise of the mentors, but secondly, the platform will also give them seed money so they can have proof of concept, their prototype, and just start and launch the business with. So it will provide them with seed money so they can start the process.
So then the follow-up question here, how do you determine the quantity of seed money, A? B, how do you vet the entrepreneurs that are going in together as a team? How do you make sure that they mesh well together?
Right, so it's another good question. And that process will be done by the groups themselves, that they can pick their members themselves. Whichever member and individual that they're comfortable with, they'll be working on their ideas independently.
Got it. So another follow-up question,
Sure.
Which would be these courses. What would you provide to those teams outside of just coaching? Would you also provide them like what exactly are you giving to those entrepreneurs who are like creating that cohort, that team? Like what exactly is it that makes this so different versus, let's say, another incubator?
Right. So the main difference between this and another incubator is one, that this is a non-profit organization. Second, this is simply for Muslim. Third, that whatever profit this platform generate, it will invest back into the Muslim Ummah, into the community. So the two goals that I mentioned, that the 25% partnership that the platform is seeking in every business, the fellows, even though we're doing a lot for individual, for ourselves, for our, whether we're professionally working or business and so on, those things we're doing for ourselves. This we're doing for the team, this we're doing for the ummah. So if somebody said that 25% is really too much, we should keep this in mind, that this is a sadaqah that we're giving to the community. So we as a community collectively, we get there where we want to get and where we want to be. So tomorrow, if not today we may feel that I'm giving too much of my business, but tomorrow we may feel proud that I was once part of this gain. The gain is there. This community is flourishing because of my contribution, because of my commitment. If that makes sense.
I think to add more to what Daniel is asking, what is it that GAIN can offer? Would it be a good idea to reach out to us, at a larger scale? The youngsters who are in the legal field, youngsters who have been working at the New York Stock Exchange, or they're coming from the Wall Street. And there are people in our community, alhamdulillah, there are people who have started new businesses, and people in backgrounds with NASDAQ and IPOs and all that. So if you could have those, somehow GAIN should reach out to those individuals, and possibly they could help, somebody like me, I come up with some crazy idea about a widget, but I need to have some legal assistance.
That's exactly when I say tools and resources.
Right.
That's what tools and resources mean, that GAIN would help with every single aspect of their business, their startup, and GAIN will be reaching out to the community, further professionals, businessmen. So for instance, when I mentioned that GAIN would help with seed money, seed funding, we as a community, as a platform, will be going out to the community to ask for donation, to ask for charity, and that donation and that charity will be given for the seed money of these entrepreneurs so they can start their business with. And we will be reaching out to all the professionals. When I said resources, it will be, so the coursework that I put together for this, there will be classes given by professionals. Those may not be Muslims, but they will learn all the different aspects of their businesses, whether it's a lean methodology or whether there are other approaches to how they can succeed their business and be viable in the space. So certainly, yes.
I guess the follow-up question to that would be, do you already have these professionals already lined up, or are you actively looking for them? And if they are, if any of the people here want to be a part of this, other than signing up directly with this, do you already have that list of people who could already assist in this fashion?
Yes, we have some professionals, and we are actively looking for, as I mentioned, that the goal is big, the vision is big. We're not limited to a particular number. The more, the better. So we can have a bigger pool of people, a bigger pool of resources that we can tap into when there is a need.
So is there any target industry or certain areas you're looking for?
No, there is no restriction on, you can have an idea for starting a brick and mortar business. That is also fine with us.
And so,
Yeah.
what I'm asking that is like, for example, if you want to have a fintech company versus a brick and mortar, right? The vendors you need to provide it's totally different, right? So is it better to concentrate on certain areas and bring up that vendors than trying to cover all the industries?
So the reason that we want to cover every industry, because every individual has a different interests and different needs and desire, right? But yet there are also people that in that industry, they're expert in those industries. So we'll bring those experts into the platform, and they will mentor the people that want to be in that industry. So it's better to have a bigger and broader vision and platform which covers everything.
Then you go with the mentors, that's right.
Exactly, yes.
What industry do you guys have the tool and resources for?
Say that again, I'm sorry?
What industries have you guys had resources and tools to support the development?
So we have resources right now in the individuals expert in a lot of different, I come from the healthcare space, so from healthcare to IT to brick and mortars and hospitalities and so on. But we're still looking for more brothers and sisters to join the platform, and so basically we have a bigger body of people and professionals in the system.
One question. So,
Yes, sir.
so anybody want to just start up the business, right? There is no background of the business. So that people will be each part of this group, like in the one in the group. What is the kind of phase we will be?
So if you don't have any business expertise and you want to be mentor, you will be in phase one mentor.
No.
So you will be in phase one mentors. These are non-business mentors.
Okay.
These are mentors that they mentor the individuals to see that, okay, where they start and where they need to go. So basically, for instance, if you come as a non-business mentor and you said, I want to give my time, I want to participate, this is a mentor.
But actually, I'm looking to start a business.
Oh, you want to, so you want to be a fellow, in other words.
Yeah.
You want to come as a cohort. Then you want to start a business.
Yes.
Okay. So when you come, you'll submit your idea, and then if you're just by yourself, we'll ask you to bring in two more members with you. So you have a team, and the team, then the platform become a partner with you, and then you basically start the process there.
So meanwhile, we can just participate in the mentorship as well. That was the. Yeah. So I'm a fellow, and plus do I need to join the mentor group as well?
If you're a fellow, then that means that you probably don't have the time to be a fellow and mentor at the same time, because this may take some time, 3 to 6 months of commitment of yours in order for you to become a leader in something. You have to commit your time. In that time, a scholar said that about 2,000 hours in order to become good at something that you can teach. So that's a lot of commitment there. And you need to commit yourself to that idea for 3 to 6 months in order for you to become good at, to become a leader in that field later on.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So you guys are believing in every business idea in this one, which is I respect that. And what is the cap of the seed money that you guys trying to provide for each business? Is it a situation basis or or how do you guys determine how much can you afford distributing to the
Right.
seed?
It's a very good question. The seed money was determined based on the scope and the capacity of the business that they wanted to start. So as we go further and further, and we see success is becoming partner of the with different businesses, and the platform start generating revenue, the seed money pool will become bigger and bigger. Right now, it may be very small, but as we go further, this pool will become bigger and bigger.
So one question I have is, you mentioned that he's a business owner, right? And he's trying to start a business.
Right.
You said bringing two members with him.
Right.
Are those his equity partners?
Yes.
Is that a requirement, or can you go it alone?
You can go alone, but starting a business is as you know, is a bit of a strenuous work. And a lot of people who are new to business and they've never done a business before, as a youngster, when they're coming in, along the process they get burned out unless they have somebody to lean over, to delegate, and so on. So it's possible that the business asks for a lot of their commitment, a lot of work. If their work was split into three, then the individual load become lesser.
Because of the cost of living in this country, the startup business owners necessarily need to have a job in this country.
Exactly.
So how do you intend to hold the owner responsible for the commitment that gains here?
Right.
He could, there's no skin on the game for him. He could just leave in 6 months and say nothing happened, right? So how do you hold him responsible?
So that's exactly what these two phases and mentor will do. They will basically, when they start vetting their idea, it's not necessarily that they will take every idea that comes to the platform door. Then once they start vetting their idea, they're not only just vetting their idea, but they're also vetting the members in the team and know that, okay, who is what? Because these are expert people, so they understand one's ability of, what is their strength, and whether they are somebody that they've started 5 other businesses in 1 month, or these are people that they're committed to their idea, that what they want to present and pursue.
What's the vetting process?
So the vetting process in a twofold by these two different mentors. The phase 1 mentors, they basically understand the individual personalities and the individual strength as to what they have done, what they are doing, and so on and so forth. And these are individuals as non-business, so they're simply basically focusing on these individuals. And
I guess that's not my question per se. Are you vetting them? Is there a board of people that
board
are
of
vetting
people,
these
board, yes. That's why when we said that we're forming a committee right now, so the committee will be part of this vetting process, and then it pass on to these different mentors in the committee.
Yeah, just one comment based on your earlier question. I had a job and I started a business for 3-4 years. I kept on doing it, but it never worked. It only started working when I left the job and focused on business. So putting your life into it did not work for me. So if you are committed, you have to take the risk and jump in.
There was a surgeon. She also wanted to start a business, and she was doing it for many years, 3, 4, 5 years. It was not working. The business was not a success. So she realized it's not working, so she quit her job as a surgeon, and people thought she was crazy, and everybody thought that she was just lunatics, that she quit her job and doing business. So somebody asked her as to why. She said, unless my back is against the wall, I cannot make this happen. And once that happened, she saw that her finances were going down by the day. The business started to succeed and eventually worked out. So definitely, and that's one of the things that I wanted to mention, forgot to mention, that today the Muslims' back is against the wall. This is the time that we need to do something. And to do something for the financial prosperity of the Ummah, I think this is the time that we need to do something about it. Yes, sir.
I have a question from one of your responses, which you gave about seed money, right?
Yeah.
So seed money will be coming from charity or donation.
Donations.
So how are we looking into from the perspective of Sharia or people who are really eligible to start their own business from the perspective of Islam? Are we allowed from that perspective that we can take donations and again increase our wealth, or how?
So the donation is not coming to individuals or particular group that who are in a position to start their own business. If somebody come to us and they say, hey, I have some money that I put in, and that is one of the things that Gan will be asking whether they have put their own money into this or not, as every investors or incubator that you go to do, and we will do the same thing, whether if they had put their money or willing to put their money into this. But the charity and the donation will come to the platform, which is a nonprofit organization, and then they will decide as to who are, eligible for their seed money and who is not. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Just my 2 cents.
Okay.
I think we should just limit ourselves to the word donation and eliminate the charity.
Okay. Okay, that's totally fine. At the end, it's money, right? It's dollars, so it's okay.
No, charity is for some other cause.
Right. Okay, that's fine. Donation is fine.
People donate for good other causes also.
Right. Yep, totally agree. Yes, sir.
Question on the business model of it, and you mentioned, and I think on the same line that his brother asked, right? I mean, generally, if you see how the fundraising is done, and on volunteer basis, and when we are constructing a masjid, mashallah, we get a lot of fund.
Right.
Any other cause, if you just analyze, right, the fund don't come as big
That is true.
issue, right?
Yeah.
So here we're talking about, you are asking me to give you money to gain, so that you can give money to other business holders or business entrepreneurs who will be building up their business. I think there's a lack in the business model. There should be some kind of a share going back, so I will be more interested. Again, I'm really talking from the practical perspective.
Right.
So, in this case, if you are asking me a donation, hey, give me $100,000 donation because that donation will put towards other business. I don't have much say, I don't know what you're doing, and you say you put it. Versus you say, hey, you put this in, you invest it, we will invest somewhere else, and as a lenient terms, you may get something out of it, but it's a risk based, not a percentage based like fixed.
Right. Now, if you were to donate $100,000, then my recommendation to you would be is to not donate that money as $100,000 to the platform, but then you come as an investor. So there are two ways that one can say that I can give $5 as a donation, and another may say I can give $100. But if you are able to donate $50,000 or $100,000, and then you say, okay, what is at stake for me? What is in it for me? You can come as an investor to the platform, and then you can invest and gain the share that you're looking for in the different businesses.
I didn't hear this, once again, let me follow up on that. Because what I heard, the way you explained, one person comes in, hey, I have a business, I wanna, pitch my idea, and you say, okay, bring 3 more partners, or 2 more, and you become 1 more partner, right? So, if I ask for $100,000 seed money, or if I ask $1 million seed money, the percentage from your side is still 25%, which doesn't make sense to me because, I've seen Shark Tank a lot.
Right. So one of the things that the difference that I mentioned here between Shark Tank and there are a lot of incubators. The difference is that the platform is not a profit organization. It's not for profit. It's a non-profit organization. And as I mentioned earlier, this money that the platform will generate, this will be reinvested back to the community. So we can have a stronger community hold in this world, in this country. And I mentioned earlier that the goal is to eventually able and capable that we have a strong playing capacity in the political space and in the education system in this country. So that is the main goal and the vision, the ultimate vision of this platform. Not that myself or other become richer through this process, but so we can give back to the community in that sense.
Yeah.
You mentioned about masjid. It's possible that this platform that there may be a need for a masjid that eventually they can come to the platform and say, hey, we need some donation for the masjid. It's possible that this platform can do that as well. You see? So when you are giving a donation for masjid, as Muslims, we are good at that. We are putting all our eggs in a basket of Jannah, and you say, yeah, That's that we give, and we just gain some piece landscape in real estate in Jannah. But we are forgetting that if we have a better human outcome here, we can make better human beings and we can make better Muslims here in this world, and therefore the hereafter possibly be easier for us. So that's the whole notion and the goal, to basically convince to Muslims.
So I have a question. What if the idea needs a lot of money? And you guys have 20 ideas on the table right now that's ready to pitch to execution. And you said that you need to bring the seed money from donation and charity, which is, I'm assuming this is a lot of money for 20 ideas. I have an idea, like, what if you guys made like a fair of ideas, and you invite investors to this hallway, and they will see which one they are interested in, and then the investors will contribute their money, and the pitchers will pitch their idea to them, something like that. That it's going to be easier to bring the money to the table.
You see this thing?
Yeah.
It has the QR code. The reason I gave it to you, scan it, you fill that form. We need people like you, people with idea that who can come forward and say that, okay, you become part of the community, and it should not come just from one person as me. It should have the consensus of the entire community. And then we decide collectively as to what would be a better, good, and viable business model that this platform should have. And we make that decision then, and we go with that. So it's not that we're deciding on everything right now. I give you the skeleton, and we're gonna put meat on the skeleton once we form the committee, and once we have more members coming in, then when we decide upon those in particular and nitty-gritty in detail work.
Just a quick comment.
Yes, sir.
As an observer, it looks like the questions that are coming in, it's like game versus the audience. No, it's you are game.
Yes, you are game. Exactly.
So the desire is, I mean, at least I would like it to be, that just like the young man sitting over there, he needs some help with a business idea, or he wants to start something, So there are people in the community and I'm sure you know of them, or if you don't, somebody else in the room, they could help you with that idea, right? And then now you have an idea, but you need some legal advice. So you shake a hand with an attorney or law office, $500 right there. They talk from all sides of the mouth, right? With all due respect to the law students here. So, if there is somebody in the community, so get them in touch with, game.
Right.
So
Exactly.
So we have an incubator. There's a legal advisor. There's some CPA, accounting, somebody who could help you with, like a quick start. How to incorporate yourself, do the don'ts of these things. So that's the desire, and I'm sure you would probably know some people that could.
Exactly. If you have an idea and you said, I want to start my idea tomorrow, we're not able to. We will be able and capable after once we launch in March. So you still have all this time to work on your idea, to basically prep it, polish it, and once we launch in March, inshallah, then we'll be able to take ideas, teams, and fellows, and so on, and then we'll start working on that after the launch, inshallah.
So, quick question, I want to do something but I am not sure what exactly I want to start. So is there a possibility that I can be part of this community and I can get some help that, okay, go ahead and these are some models, these are the different businesses, go ahead and put your thoughts, get this knowledge in 5-6 months or within a year. And then after that, once you put all your basic work and all, and then you can start a business, because not everyone is having a business model, right?
Of course, definitely.
Will we be able to join this as a part of in terms of leaning that in that
You
direction?
can, or you can also become part of a mentor if you want, and then you can learn from other mentors, but you can also learn from the teams that have come through the game and going through. We learn from that as well, and eventually you said, I have been mentor for a year. I want to start my own business through this process. You can do that as well. Yeah.
So maybe that's a good idea, right? Most of the people need help is kind of decide what they want to do.
Exactly.
Maybe you need a level 0 or before,
Definitely,
kind of,
definitely.
Give some mentors or a group of people who can talk to them,
Right.
kind of help them to decide what they want to do, then promote them to the next.
Exactly. A couple of days ago, there was a young brother who came to me, and he was working on 75 different ideas, right? And he said, I do this is this part, and everything that he was telling me that he went so far, so much in every idea. Then I asked him some question where his interest was, and it happened so that his interest was in real estate. And I said, brother, alhamdulillah, you have a lot of energy, you're young, you're educated, mashallah, so I would suggest that drop all the other things and put it aside. Focus your energy 110% on real estate so you can get somewhere. You are not getting anywhere because your energy is so divided and scarce all over the places that it's not making a difference. So I always suggest to people who have no idea where they want to do, always just find your spark. Find the one thing that you're passionate about, that you wanted to work it, that you cannot get tired working on that thing day and night. Find that space, and then some idea will pop, and then you can work on that.
Just one thought on the same topic, right? Again, it may not apply to everybody, but for small businesses, it is critical to have a relationship with the market. So many people came to me and, what should I do? I said, don't think about what you want to do. Tell me who you know. Connection, connection, connection.
Right.
Big brands, big companies, you can tell I work for this company.
Right.
Everybody knows this company does. But small businesses, they don't know what you do. So you have to know people. You have to have connection. And if you have connection, if you have contacts, that's where your focus should be, and that's where you can succeed. Again, this worked for me. I'm not sure if it's right, but this is my thought.
So to build on what this brother was saying, I joined, hypothetically speaking, I joined game, and then I present you with maybe ideas that I have, or maybe to start, to feed off of what you might present me for, like, let's say, passive income, or like you said last time, the lean process type of fact, like these ideas aren't not sustainable. You need to, these areas may be good to focus, but this might be good for initial income for you to continue that on to someone else. Would that start with phase 1 mentorship, and then from there you guys would kind of help me lean out what is right and what isn't?
Exactly. So the phase 1 mentors basically assess everything, individuals, personalities, partners, and so on and so forth. When it comes to the second phase mentors, they assess your idea. And from their assessment, basically they will see that how much fat your idea has and how much leanness it needs, so you can basically cut the fat out, and then that process will come through different courses and classes and so on and so forth, and you will learn the method of discovery, customer discovery, lean process, lean methodology, and so on and so forth. And with that, eventually when you, at the end, you will have a solid lean muscle, a viable business idea that you can then work on.
So it starts with a mentor.
Right.
And consider the existing business we want to scale.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Existing businesses we want to scale.
Scale up. If you already have a business but you want to scale up, then is also a possibility.
In the
Yes.
terms of, scaling or how do you consider?
So if you're coming with an existing business, this is something new, and that could be something that we could work at the time when you can, because you have to understand, the valuation is important. So when the idea your business is valuated at the time at a certain level, then we'll see that, okay, you have come this far with this kind of valuation and started existing successful business. What we can offer, is valuable to you, and what you want to get in return, that could be appreciated. Yes, sir.
Yeah, mentorship is kind of a little bit vague idea itself, because everybody understands a little bit different, right? So I would like to add, like let's say, just because if you teach the math to the kid, he can do it on the table, right? But the hunting, you should go out. So that is the difference. So for example, if there are business already existing, let's say I have a 4 store, just hypothetical speaking, right? So if I put one of my Muslim brother here who is interested in the business, right, how to learn it, I guess still this guy needs to feed their family, survive, right? So let's say at the beginning I hired him, but in my mind, to be mentor him, right, I should kind of spend more time on him, just pretend as a business owner on this store, as much as you can bring your idea, but don't implement it, just discuss with me. Let's say after 2 years, this guy knows how to run a store. Then he can come up, maybe he can purchase, that way maybe Gain can help with the seed money, other stuff. I guess mentorship should go what we call the actual practicing. Otherwise, just speaking, it is like you can read the book, you can watch the movie, it doesn't make you a good businessman. You should do it. For example, let's say I have a kind of 4 houses I want to buy, right? But I bought the one to remodel. Let's say one brother is interested to get in the remodeling business, right? But usually there is a blocker, it can be financially, it can be you can do it, but you don't know how to charge it. That is also an issue, right? And how much will cost for me to make the carton? So let's cooperate, work together, but just take as what we call you are calling fellow, right? Fellow as a kind of person like you, understand his needs too, right? Then, okay, so if I hire someone from outside, I need to pay 50,000, let's say. I know their actual cost is 20, right? So let's do it together. Anyway, I'm paying to someone else, so I will kind of finance you in this remodeling. Then you will make the money too. Then you learn if you can make this business or not. Of course, I can lose because I hired someone with inexperience.
Brother, I love your question and idea. I would strongly recommend, suggest, request, and offer you to join the platform. Fill that form, and next meeting, when we meet, inshallah, we'll discuss all the nitty-gritty. And all these innovative ideas is very, very valuable. So
this is not innovative, by the way. I'm saying,
you may not look, but it is. It's valuable, and that time is very, very important to us.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Karim Khan, for that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help you take this to the next level, inshallah. So I want to move on to the next part of the program, which is basically to give a voice to people who want to start a business, right? So if you have a business idea that you want, before I go there, by a show of hands, how many business owners here? 3, 4, 6, 7. So it's about 20%. 20% of the crowd here is business owners. How many of you aspire to start a business? Okay. How many of you are well on the way, have a solid idea that you have thought about and have a customer in mind? Okay. So could I ask the two of you who raised their hand for the last question to come and talk about your experiences and what is holding you back? Anything, a couple of minutes. that's the question is that you are well on your way to like ideate in business, right? So what are your challenges, where you at, and what's holding you back?
In front of the TV. Yeah. A little further back. Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, I think nothing is holding me back. I'm a professional accountant, and I've been working in corporate accounting for a while, and then I just felt the need that it's time for me to start doing something on the side. So I just started to go on my way of starting my own accounting practice. So I find out QuickBooks because I wanted to focus mainly on small businesses, providing accounting services for small businesses. And I've actually started a journey and learning QuickBooks because just to get familiar with it. I'm not actually learning accounting, but I'm just learning the software, how to actually use it too.
So are you a CPA as of right
No,
now?
I'm not a CPA.
So you're just mainly doing bookkeeping and payroll services?
Yeah.
How are you acquiring customers?
So,
How are you advertising to them?
So now I'm actually not advertising, but when I started getting into that, QuickBooks has their own platform, and they have their certification. So when you pass the certification exam, they enlist you on their platform. So that's where like small businesses actually go over there to look for accountants. And actually before this, I also joined one mentorship program just to learn about marketing and actually scaling the business.
Got it. So just out of curiosity, since how far are you in the journey so far? When did you start? And, like how many months in are you?
So I made up my idea. I think that was last month. No, that was in December. So that I joined the mentorship program,
Okay.
and I'm actually started like learning QuickBooks. So it wouldn't take me that long to actually get the certification. I don't know whether that answers the question.
So that I just wanted to know the time frame because normally the if you're trying to build a business, right? The main key thing, what do you think is the main thing that the business needs in order for itself to grow? It needs sales and marketing.
Yeah.
Those are the two main components, right? Because without sales, you can't acquire new customers. Without marketing, you can't let more people know about your business, right? So maybe that's where you need to focus a little bit more because QuickBooks you can learn, right? But I guess the question is more so what services are you advertising and are you selling? Is it simple bookkeeping? Is it payroll services? What exactly is it that you're offering? So then that way your offer is very crystal clear. That's easier to market versus just saying accounting services. Because it could mean a lot of different things.
Yeah, so right now actually I just wanted to focus on bookkeeping.
Got it.
And then bookkeeping, and then actually basically bookkeeping but I haven't actually mapped out like the full service that I actually wanted to.
Got it.
Yeah, but I know in my mind that I want to just focus on bookkeeping. Of course, I'll add payroll later, but bookkeeping is what my main focus is.
I mean, payroll services should be relatively easy. I mean, literally it's just calculating the number of hours
Yes, yeah.
and multiplying it out or getting the wages, right?
Yeah.
So maybe adding that on wouldn't be too big of a deal for your business.
Yes.
But I guess the question I want to ask here now is more so, now that you have this skill set, now that you've learned QuickBooks, what is the next thing to do in your business, in your mind, in order for you to grow the business?
So the first thing I have in mind is like word of mouth, reaching out to the community, the people that I know, and then the people who basically word of mouth, and then using social media.
Got it.
I think that is what I have in mind for now.
Got it. Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of feedback here.
Yeah.
There in sales or in marketing, right? There are four things that you need to do. One is cold email. If you have access to emails of business owners, right? You can go to their Google listing and find an email them, call them, right? If you don't call them, if you don't hunt for them, then nobody will come to you because you're not making yourself available. You're not letting them know. Number 3, I would do social media as much as I can and learn iteratively, meaning that I'll start with one post, I'm gonna analyze this and I'm gonna see what my competitors are doing in the market, and then from there, I'm gonna try to mimic what they're doing if they're getting a high view count Why? Because they're doing something that maybe I'm not doing, and if I can just simply mimic it, I can then understand it. And then from there, I can iteratively grow 1% day over day, month over month, whatever it is. Always try to iterate and try to grow that way. The final method would be through paid advertising. If you do paid advertising, you can inorganically acquire more market share. But then the question is, when you start doing that, is your service very clear? Do people understand what you're offering? Because if you're just saying accounting services, maybe it's management consulting or audit services, right? Because your offer isn't clear, people won't have the clarity and therefore they won't identify with you. You want the business owner to identify their pain points. Oh, I'm having trouble doing payroll. Hey, these are the services we offer related to payroll. And then you only target for that, and then you slowly grow out of your niche. That's how you're going to grow this business if you want to go in that direction.
Okay. I mean, I think maybe that is why I'm here, and then after that,
Yeah, I'm happy to have a
before,
conversation.
and then I think so as gain, maybe part of gain, you know, sure. Yeah.
So I want to call on the next brother to talk about his journey and
Hello everyone. So my name is Ammar. I'm a bridge engineer. I work for the private sector, and we provide services to the DOT and cities and counties to design bridges. So my idea is to grow professionally, to provide, to make my own engineering service company in the future. And that requires, as you said, connections, credentials, and experience. And I'm building these three columns, and that requires maybe like about 10 years of profession. I see a lot of people, or many people did that after 12 years of experience. And I'm trying to build that. I'm now in my 4th years of working, and I'm about to get my credentials, inshallah, after doing the exam, which is being a civil engineer practitioner. But I'm trying to build my connections in the counties and the cities and DOT, and that's one of my ideas. My other idea is to be a real estate developer, because I'm already civil engineer and I know the designers and GCs and all of that, so I have the connections to develop plans. And that's one of my other idea that I'm trying to do, because I come from background from overseas that I see these people are really succeeding in this business. And these are my 2 main ideas I'm working on. And I do remodeling on the side. If you guys need any help, let me know. Reach out to me. So that's my side hustle. I do remodeling because that doesn't require any credentials, and while I'm working as a bridge engineer. So yeah, I'm working on my connections and the credentials and the expertise.
Here's a question. Why do you think you need 10 or even 12 years of experience to start a consulting firm? There's so many people who've started consulting firms with even less years of experience.
Because this field is really hard to gain the knowledge and connections to. There is not enough resources that you can learn and grasp from books and online. You need to be under someone who has 40 years of experience, work under him, trying to gain all the knowledge from him.
I would actually say that maybe if you have the capability to do so, hire this person that has the knowledge, then they work with you, right? Because then you'll be sort of having a mentor-mentee relationship, right? And they may have equity in the business, but that way you can build that business with that person. I mean, it's just an idea. Rather than you having to wait another 6 years, right? Why not start today? Why not try to find those resources today, make that relationship, find those I guess, trade shows or events where you can find those people who can help you, and then build. What's stopping you there?
Yeah, you're right.
Or to build on what Game was saying, and I don't know if you're a business, I'm learning too,
Mhm.
but have you thought about purchasing an existing construction company of some sort? And then they have like a period where I think they teach you their process, and then you take on the responsibility of owning and then maintaining that.
No, that requires capital, right? That is one thing that a lot of people kind of overlook.
Yeah.
Capital is
That's
huge.
true.
If you don't have capital, you can't do much stuff. You can't hire, you can't partner, you can't do all those things. I mean, most of the startup businesses, they try to do that. They're providing the initial value.
Yeah.
Instead of purchasing it and giving away equity, trying to build it up.
Yeah.
So that's something to actually think about that before.
The thing is that to start like two companies, the consulting engineering firm, which is that requires a lot of years of experience because you're building a state bridge on 285, something like that. And other thing is the construction firm. We need a lot of labor connections too. And so you're right, like you need a lot of resources that you need to know in order to open something like that.
I mean, yeah, you may need the resources, but I would argue and say, if you have, I mean, because on the consulting side of things, that's service based.
Yes.
Right? It's not labor intensive. It's labor intensive in the sense that you basically are borrowing the experience or expertise of someone and you're providing that to your client, right? So there is no physical, I mean, like labor that's needed for that. Maybe you start with that, build up the capital because the margins are much higher in that business versus, let's say, construction. Yeah, the volume or the dollar amounts are higher in construction probably. I don't know. I'd have to do some more research. But if you do consulting and you start with that and you have somebody as a partner with you, maybe you generate more margin with that. And if that's genuinely what you want to do, then you start going towards the construction route.
True. Well, these are my ideas. Thank you so much.
No worries.
For that. So I want to call upon a different perspective from a business owner, whether Tariq will explain to us his experiences. He owns multiple businesses, so it's something we can learn from him.
So, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Tariq Hussain. To start with, I mean, earlier I mentioned about commitment, right? So, critical, as I mentioned, I will re-emphasize that if you want to start a business, you have to jump into it. It's okay. You cannot have it just as a side hustle. Again, I tried for 3-4 years as a side hustle, my job, it didn't work. So I was working with IBM, and when I left, and I had 7 different ideas. And I said, okay, I'm gonna start 7 different businesses. Again, with IBM, corporate world, everybody knew what IBM can do. But when I talked to different people about these businesses, they said, okay, we don't even know you. You don't have any established business, so why should we give you business? So from 7, I went down to 5. Then from 5, I went down to 3. And that's where I said, now I'm having more focus and I'm having these connections. I knew people who were working in that area. So I think the main idea was when I was playing with my friend, my neighbor, and he said, oh, I mean, I have this business and I need this, I don't know how to do this automation. And this was just during a tennis game. This connection helped me set up a business, and now I have 50 employees on the same business. And so there's a startup and then there's a scale up. In startup, you have to rely on your connection. And once you establish something, you have a base, then you can scale up, then you can hire sales team, then you can do marketing and all that. So just to that point, that the sales team and marketing team, it really, now I have now my own marketing team, sales team, and now they are reaching out to different clients, and now I'm seeing the scaling happening. But I did not see that working when I was starting. So that was a two-phase kind of thing I wanted to share, and I think that works. Again, it worked for me. So I'm not sure if there is any specific area that...
Can I ask you,
Sure.
how did you land your first customer?
So first customer was my tennis friend, who's my neighbor. And we were talking about, okay, I know technology and I can do automation, and he said, okay, I have this business and I have these people. I'm not sure if it can be automated. He said, okay, I'll try it. And I said, okay, I'll spend money on it, and my idea was I'm gonna put my retirement money into it. If it works, it's great. If it doesn't work, I'll go back home and live in a tent. So that was the approach. I said, okay, I'll have to give it and have to jump in, and that's how it started working.
Is that customer, first customer, still a customer?
Still a customer.
It was not open source, so you know he had all the critical things that you held within your company, right?
Right, yeah.
You can't move out. Around that.
So-
What was the? So this was first customer. That definitely you need a base,
Right, yeah.
And definitely from there you can say, hey, I have a customer. We have done it. It becomes little easier.
Yes.
Still a lot of work. You mentioned 3 businesses,
Right.
and then you went to one, which is basically automation of the business processes.
Yeah. So I still have 3 businesses. One is I would say 80% of the revenue. One is maybe 15% and 1 5. So the way I think of it is, you have to think about diversification as well. What if this thing doesn't work in future? So I'm thinking of 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line. So diversification is also critical, that you need to think ahead. So not only what you're doing now, but what you're going to do next. And also, I try to diversify from technology into non-technology as well. What if I don't have any business in that one? What if I can have a non-dependent business that is not going to be impacted if this business fails? So it is just a matter of diversification I have.
There's one quick question, and then many times this is one factor I've seen that come in between person working, as a job, and leaving the job. Basically, that medical portion is very expensive, right?
Right.
From the job we get subsidized, we pay like whatever. But if you go out, you are building your business, you are putting your own money, retirement
Right.
money in it. On top of that, you are paying insurance for yourself and for your family.
Right.
How do you manage that? I mean, is it something?
So most people say that you have to have a capital to live without job for 1 year. Most people say. I had money for 6 months. I said, okay, if in 6 months I need to be successful, otherwise I'll be doomed. So you have to have some capital that you have to rely. And again, I think you mentioned here, when you see your bank balance going down, and you see, okay, I need to pay bill, I need to do something, that's where you see yourself coming out and growing. And I think unless you have this pain, I call it like growing pain, unless you have this pain, it gets difficult to grow. So you have to go through this phase of struggling, and then you see the excellence.
My question was more so along the lines of, when you got your first client, how hard was it for you to get client number 2, number 3, number 5? That's question number 1. Question number 2 is, what are the names of your businesses that you currently have? Maybe we can support those in some other way.
So 3 businesses I have. One is sensors business, which is sensors, heat, movement, all the sensors. One is the robots business, the software robots, hardware robots, and people, technology would know. And the third business is the accounting business. Somebody thought about doing this stuff. So I'm also providing that service as well. Again, this is just a side business that I have. So these are the 3 business units.
Got it. And then I guess the question coming back to going from customer number 1 to customer number 2 and so on. how was that process like? Because one of the issues that an early entrepreneur will face is the consistency of income. Your income will be so lumpy, right? Month 1 versus month 3 versus, let's say, month 4 you have nothing because you have no contracts coming in or no income. How do you manage that and the stress of that?
So when I was working at that time, I said, I have to have a business that has a stream of revenue rather than a transaction-based business. So my focus has always been, I need to have business that doesn't just start with a transaction. So my business, the first business started was flow of stream. So it is happening every month. So there is no up and down. It's just going up and up.
So there was no seasonality?
No, there is no seasonality. So it was intentional decision to not get into a business where I sell and then look for another business to get the revenue.
So where does the majority of your revenue actually lie? Is it in the robotics process
In the
automation?
robotics, yes.
Got it.
In the robotics. Again, robots, software robots are the ones that you don't see in the field, and that's where the big business is. But now this year I started the hardware robots, which is you see in the field as well, in the hospital. So that's a new business I've started. Again, huge potential, but that's another area that we're getting into.
What was the point when you decided to quit the job and start focusing on the business? Is it when you got first client or?
No. So when I was, again, some people say that if you work for a company for 17 years, after that you get fed up. I don't know what was the, but after 17 years of service, I was seeing that I'm not really adding any value to my work. And in the market, what am I? I'm just becoming an accountant and anybody can replace me. So that time I realized I need to do something different because this job is just paying me bills, but every day my value in the market is going down. So I said I have to get out of this mode of documenting value and get into something where I can grow and have my own business. All right, thank you. Sakura.
That concludes our program for today. So I would encourage each one of you to actually come back next month. We'll have another speaker. We'll have more participants, inshallah, because we've tied up with the GANCC, Georgia Muslim Chamber of Commerce, in an unofficial way where we feed off each other and give forum to business owners, aspiring business owners to actually come and talk like this so that, because there's no forums exist today that gives us this opportunity. So come by with friends who are interested so that we grow this community and inshallah we're all able to help each other. Inshallah. Now there's about 10 minutes left for Dhuhr Salah, so if you want to use that time to interact with each other, we will do it. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.